Hey guys, Benji here. Gonna do a video on question of the week, which is what are some of the special talents that you possess? Um, so I think I'm gonna say that I have two special talents, and they're not that special. I mean, I think my mom would want me to answer like Benji has a gorgeous voice and he's smart. I don't know what people would say. But here are my two things that I think most of my life I've had a really special, easy, great life. And I think minus Tanner's accident and him passing away, everything else has been fabulous, right? It really just has. It's just been great childhood. My parents are still alive in their 70s. All my siblings are around, like, good group of friends. Like everything's good. I've had good jobs and companies that I've owned, and they're allowing for me to have a life that is a you know it's a good life that if I was doing this again, I would want to do it again the exact same way. It's been great. But I think there are two. When the question asks for what are my special talents, I think there are two things that make me good at being happy and that have made all the difference in my life. And I think one thing, how I'm going to start the first one. So the first one is that I say no a whole lot more than I say yes. And I know it's kind of cliche nowadays to say that, but I've been doing that. I've been doing this for a while. Like I would call it 10 to 15 years. Yeah, maybe 15 years where I really just don't do things that I don't want to do. And I think that's where social media has done a good job of having people be able to post things about either interesting people, great leaders, great company men, great rich guys that have made from zero to nothing, all these great things. And you can learn from them. And I think that's where I've figured this out is that you learn about the Mark Cubans and the Warren Buffetts and the Stephen Jobs, but then even, Winston Churchill's and then Jefferson's and George Washington's and all those kind of guys is that they they control their own life, they control their own time, they control their own calendar, and that's what I would say is the most important. Is that um, they say no, and I say no a lot. I say no. I mean, with a quickness to things that I don't want to do. But I also say no to things that I want to do because it just doesn't fit in with the schedule. Like somebody might say, "Hey, you want to go play golf today?" And I go, man, I would love to play golf today. Outside, it is like 68 and sunny and it's perfect. But I've got some things to do this afternoon. And March Madness is on tonight, with the Sweet 16 games. And I just want to get my things done and I want to do that. And I played this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Maybe I'll play this weekend. Maybe I'll go practice this weekend. But I don't need to play golf again today. Just because three guys want to and they need a fourth. Like it's okay for me to go, no, doesn't work out for me. Yeah, sorry. Oh, you can't play? What? Why? I got some stuff I got to do. Okay, and people let it go, and then they go text the next guy, right? So, but it's easy when it is things you don't want to do, right? Jen and I fight about this, where she says you don't like my friends, you don't like doing anything, and I always say it's not that I don't like your friends, I don't like what your friends do, right? Like when we go out to dinner. I mean, there are friends of Jen's that I just think are the greatest. I think, you know, she's got three or four friends that I'm like, those guys are awesome. And the wives are awesome. Now, there are some that I don't maybe get along with or I don't love. That's okay. But it's not that I don't want to hang out with them. It's that typically Moya is the one that gets things going, right? She's the one that makes it all happen for that friend group. But her and her family and her friends, they all like to camp and they like RVing and they like all that stuff. I hate that stuff. So I don't go. And that's okay. Some people, I think people that aren't very efficient or aren't very happy and don't control their lives, they look at what I say when I say, no, I don't want to go. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, I don't really want to go either, but I'm going to go. Like, no, I don't want to go, so I'm not going to go. And I think people that aren't efficient look at that and go, "You're so selfish." And I think people that are really smart and really sharp and happy, go. Yeah, I get that. If you don't want to go, I wouldn't go. I mean, there are things that we have to do. Like nobody wants to go to funerals. Nobody wants to be. I don't know things like that, right? Like, oh man, I don't want to do that. But you got to because it's the right thing to do. There's always that. But I'm talking about things that are just like your choices in life of how you spend your time and what makes you happy. Um, I don't want to do it, so I don't. Another thing is that with Jen, she says like, I want to RV and I want to go travel, and I want to garden and I want to go on hikes and I want to do them. And she doesn't do them. She either doesn't do them because I don't know, she just doesn't, or two, somebody else calls and says, "Hey, do you want to go out to this bar for a drink and meet, these three friends for a drink?" And she goes, even though maybe that's not what she wanted to do today, but she will do it because she's a go alonger. And I think that zaps some of her happiness because she ends up not doing things that she loves to do. Where I would say 99% of the time, I do things that I want to do. There's still 1 or 5% of things that I do that I don't really want to do. But for the most part, I just go do things that I want. And I think it sounds like a horribly selfish thing to do, but I think it's the key to happiness is just going because here's why because the other people don't really care, right? If there's a group of 15, 16 guys or 12 guys that are going on a golf trip and you say, hey man, it's just not going to work for me. They're like, cool, thanks for letting me know that it's a no instead of going, well, I don't know. And just keeping everyone leaning around. Just say, no, I can't go. You know what they do? They will text another guy, they will email him, and they'll call him. They'll find a 16th guy, and it's not that big of a deal. So I think that's one key, and I think that's one of my superpowers is being able to say, to own it. I mean, I love that um, Jen has a friend, that comes up there once in a while from Texas named Ashish. And last time we went to football and he was up there, I think it was for homecoming. Um, he mentioned something in passing. He was like, "No, I'm trying to be." Ashish had just gotten divorced and he's kind of going through some things. But he said, "No, I want to be more like Benji is, where he's just like, yeah, I don't want to do that, so I don't do it." And I was like, "Oh man, it's awesome that people notice that people are like, yeah," and they don't look at it like what a jerk. They look at it like, ah, I need to do that. I need to be better at that. I need to go. Yeah, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm, she's almost 50. I assume. I assume he's right about the same age as me, and he's probably like, what? I've done. He's probably done 48 years of doing what everybody else wanted, and his friends and his family and his wife and everything he's expected to do. Instead of going, you know what? I think I'm just going to do what I want to do. And if you do that, it actually brings immense happiness, or at least it does to me. And from people that I've read that do that, they have the same experience. Like, yeah, I mean, take any Tim Ferriss or these efficiency gurus and those guys, they'll tell you the same thing. Like, yeah, I schedule all my stuff, and then if I've got room, I'm not doing anything, and you're doing something, and you ask me to go, yeah, I might go. But I'm gonna make sure that I do my stuff first because those are the things that I like. Um, Now I like hiking and I like going on a hike, but I would rather play golf. And so if I'm already playing golf, I'm gonna say no. But if I got nothing to do and nothing going on, and somebody says, "Hey, we're gonna go hike this thing, or we're gonna go on this trip that you might not love, but if I'm not doing anything and I want to, I'll just go do it." So I think that's a superpower. My other special talent is that I move quick, and I when I choose to do something, I just do it. So when I started Last Minute Golfer, I had an idea on a Friday night. Friday night? I don't remember. Maybe not. But we used to go out on Friday nights for drinks after um, at RSU's, and I was down there. and We were talking about how is there not an online tea time? This would be genius. Let's do it. So the next day, I just started on it, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, I had raised, I forget even now, 110,000, I think, to get the software and get it going and start going. Like I just did it. And I met lots of guys later that were like, "Oh, I had that same idea. Man, I wish I had done it." Like, yeah, yeah, I just did it. Kansas City Hardscapes went to a baseball game. I think it was opening day and Kit was there. And I said, And I am working for this guy who's not that bright, who has a good business. This is a nice niche. It's growing. It's getting more popular with hardscapes. We should just start it. And Kip was like, "Oh, I hate my job. Okay, yeah, I'll quit and we'll do that." I'm like, okay. And that was like April 3rd, and I started the business and made up all the documents and got the bank accounts middle of May. So 45 days later, let's just go, right? Like left my job that was making 100 grand at and said, yeah, let's open this. We can get this thing going. We can get back to making decent money quickly and it'll be good in the long term. So some small pain for long term gain. And that's how starting a business is, right? Nobody starts a business and like, man, this is a great idea for me to quit my really good paying job so I can make hardly any money. You do have to go through short term pain on that. But the point is that if I want to do something, I do it. Well, just the other day, I said I want to go to North Carolina and I want to play all those 20 courses out there that are incredible. There's like 9 resorts that have a course, maybe two, and then there's one out there called Pinehurst that has 10 courses. And I'm like, I want to go play them, but I want to do it over the course of like, I mean, there's like 20 something courses. I want to do it over the course of 3 weeks. Well, nobody can do that. And that's fine. Everybody's got jobs and families and all that stuff. But my kids are old and I've got time with my job. And so I just look up, hey, when's the best weather in North Carolina? Well, it looks like October is the best. It rains the least and it's kind of like 78 degrees every day. Cool. In October, I'm going to go for 3 weeks to North Carolina and I'm going to play golf every single day. I'm going to read books at night and I'm going to do it by myself because I want to go do it. And I'm not going to wait on everybody else being able to come up with time and do it or try to figure out like, hey, maybe I'll get this guy for 3 days and this guy for four and this guy for three and this one for two and like, and then I'll have somebody to play with every day. Like, no, I'm just going to go play with random stranger guys that play golf and it'll be fun. It'll be great. It'll be relaxing. It'll be my first solo vacation ever, which I'm kind of excited for. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll get halfway through it and be like, this sucks. I'm going back home. I might. And that's okay too. But it's something that I want to do and I want to try. So, but as soon as I set my mind to do something, I do it. Whether it's, right now I'm learning French, je parle français, but as soon as I decided that I wanted to learn French because we're going to travel in retirement, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I started and I take lessons from tutors 3 days a week and I study every single night for the, we'll call it 6 nights a week. And I just do it. I don't haphazardly once in a while spend 10 minutes on Duolingo think it's going to work. I don't do that. Let's go all at it. So I think if people, those are my special talents, is saying no to things that you don't want to do, doing things you want to do, on your own calendar. And two, when you want to do something, do it. Don't say, I want to do that at some point, someday in the future, sometime. Like, you want to do it? Life is short. Go do it. And maybe that is the benefit that Tanner has taught me, right? Is that this can be taken away from you in a blink. And so don't wait. You could get sick, you could die, you could get hurt, anything could happen. But you know what they can't take away from you is like going and doing it now. So do what you want to do and do it with people that you want to do it with. And when you decide on something that you want to do, go do it. That's it. It sounds so simple and it really is, but it makes it's just made all the difference in my life over the last 10 or 15 years when I finally said, yeah. I mean, it probably started with my divorce from Haley. Like, I don't want to do this. This is miserable. She's an alcoholic. She's not getting better. I don't have that long. I'm not going to keep doing this. So you just move on and you just do it. And you just decide, this isn't for me. This isn't what I want to do. I'm going to change course and my life's going to go this direction now. And that's where I'm going. And I'm going full steam ahead. And I've loved that. So that's my answer. There's my two little special powers or special talents are those two. So that's all I got. See ya.